Hey, it is Sunday. It is 6 o'clock. So I'm so happy that everybody's here. Y'all are here. Y'all here for me. You are here for me. Let me just express. I'm so happy to be here. I am not feeling, I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling great, but I'm feeling, okay. I had this crush on somebody. Well, actually, I hate to say crush. Actually, I keep talking about it. I actually had feelings. I fell in love with them. And I'm angry at myself that I allowed myself to get there. And I should, when I saw the feelings coming up, I should have stopped them right there and moved them, not let them move, because it's the same thing where you're going after somebody who's who's not attracted to you. Just put it. It's not even about being available. They're just not attracted to you. Available and not attracted to you. So I was, today everything's good. So I was sitting here, and I have this tendency to think that I'm not getting the guys that I like because I'm not attractive, because I'm not sexy, I'm not this, I'm not attractive, whatever. And I've had 4 incidents in my life to where I actually like, I had these feelings. Oh my God, butterflies. And it was guys who were out of my pay grade, not pay grade, out of my look. We weren't in the same league when it comes to looks. And one guy was straight, so that doesn't even count as a sense of I knew that wasn't going to go anywhere, so I can't really. This guy was just had a great personality. He was cute too, but just a great personality. He was white. Funny thing about the other guys that I like were all black. Okay, I should. But anyway, and so I'm always going after these guys who, they also happen to be at the same time they're nice looking guys, but they also happen to be nice, um, nice personalities, um, and stuff like that. So it wasn't like they were attractive and shallow. And I was talking to my sponsor because I was angry because I was like, I hate having these feelings. I hate that I allowed myself to get there and it never works out. And I just hate, everything's going good. And then I'm in and out. And it's so intense because in my mind and my heart, yeah. And then, I'm thinking, and in my head, I'm thinking because, I'm not cute. I'm not this, I'm not this, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. And, my sponsor's like, well, why would you say that? First of all, that's God's way of protecting you. Second of all, how do you know you're not good enough, too good for him? Why would you think that you're not good enough for him? It may be the other way around where you're too good for him. And he's like, you kind of quit looking at it that way. Look at it the other way. But also look at it, it's God protecting you. She said, look at it this way. God is protecting you and it's not for you. That means it's not for you. Look at it that way. God is saying, you don't know what, he's like, you don't know what's going to be when he gets in, the person gets into the next relationship. It's like God is, you have to look at it that God is protecting you and he will bring the right person for you. And I was telling him, it's so hard to look at it that way because I'm always looking at everything as it's my fault. The abuse that I went through as a child or the rape that I went through as a child, I quickly go, that's my fault. If I was not so feminine, or if I was a better child, if I looked this way, this wouldn't have happened. My parents would have loved me. People would, these guys would have liked me if I was cute. I could have been a mess because I'm cute. It doesn't make a difference because I'm cute. You know what I mean? And so I was just in that spot. Plus, you think because it's like I didn't get in this spot, and then we had a meeting today, and he shared, and I could be wrong, but the guys that he's spending his time with on the phone, that's talking, recovery. Like he's not gonna be on the phone with somebody in recovery for hours and hours that he inside isn't attracted to. That's just not how he operates. So I was sitting there going, oh, that's who, that's who he likes, or whatever. So I was just like, oh, and I don't even know what the person looked like because I know the person lives in California. So, you know what I mean? But I'm sitting there going, yeah. You can see you know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah. And so I'm just getting down and like, I'm not good enough. And, and then after talking to my sponsor, I was like, you know what? That's so stupid. But that's just a habit I have. Everything that's happened to me as a child, as I always take that it's because of me. And if I was better, looking better this, better that, these incidents wouldn't have happened. And I was like, and after talking, I was like, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of making myself less than. You know what I mean? It's like I'm tired because it's like, and I don't understand where that, because it's like I've achieved some stuff. I'm in this recovery program, which I'm back again, and it's like, and then I start comparing myself. Let's get real here. I'm comparing because this guy he's always been asked to speak, and he's a great speaker. And I'm thinking, well, no one ever asked. I've told myself, no one ever asked me to speak and all that. And I'm thinking, is it because he's cute? And because he's cute, because when you're cute, people endow you with all these gifts. And he happened to be a great sharer and all that. But I'm thinking, is he getting all this attention, especially from the gay guys? You're changing me, and you're making me do this and this and that and this and that. Because it's like, is that because he's cute? And that's where the change, like if he wasn't cute, would you all be, making that change and tell, oh, I've changed my life because I admire, you know what I mean? So I'm listening, I'm like, is this really, or is this is sexual flirtation? But you're just saying, like if he was wasn't cute, would you be moved? If you didn't want to fuck him, would you be moved? I mean, that's what I'm thinking in my head. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, so I'm second guessing myself. So I'm not this and I'm not that. So I was telling my sponsor, and I'm like, I'm just so tired. I'm pissed off. I'm more pissed off at myself. You know what I mean? That I allowed that stuff to happen. And as I'm sitting here thinking, I had my good day. I mean, it's way better after the fuck up I did, which I now know was a blessing. Because I wouldn't, if I wouldn't have had that fuck up, I would have still been in this place. And because of that fuck up, I had to get real. You know what I mean? And be like, you know what? Because, and I understand that God has a love plan for me. He has a love plan for me. And I also was upset, because it's like, some of these stories you hear about guys talking about, sex and doing all this stuff in the park and the gay. And I'm just like, well, I've been there. This is not my first rodeo to recovery. So when I came back into recovery this time, I came back in recovery understanding a lot more about me and my truth. And I knew that there were certain things in this go around that I had already came aware, because that's what took me out the last time, was sex, the drug I was using, sex and all that. You know what I mean? So I knew this time when I came into the room, because of the same thing, I knew, okay, I can't do the sex thing, and I can't do the hookups. I need to get real. You know what I mean? I can't gag. I can't. So I knew what I need to do. So I put myself on a 90-day no sex thing, and then from there I took it from when I realized, because I'm like, when I realized, oh, I can do the 90 days, and my sponsor didn't suggest that. He didn't have to, because I knew coming into having God bring me back to recovery, I knew what the fuck I needed to do. Because I was here for a solution, not pussyfooting, and not shitting around, and not clowning around. I mean, I know, I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to do that, because that doesn't add value. And I shared that. I talked to him about that, and my sponsor and all that. So I'm like, that's what I was going to, because I knew that was going to take me out, and it wasn't adding value to me. I knew that. I fucking knew that. I shared that many times. I shared that with him and whatever. And now he's off being the mantra, the guru. And so that's how I was looking at it. I'm like, what? But I'm happy. No, I'm happy. I'm very happy that, do you know what I mean? So I was telling my sponsor, I was comparing, like, because I knew when I came back into the program, I knew what I needed to do. I'm not pussyfooting around. Nor did I come back into this program holding on to this idea that, my parents didn't do this. I knew I had let that go. I let that go. So I'm not blaming my parents or even the guy who raped me, to say, no, it's like that. I knew when I came back in the program that I wasn't going to, that door was closed. I'm not looking for my parents or anybody to apologize for me, because that's not going to happen. So I had to create this exercise that I learned in acting by imagine yourself, imagine the people that hurt you coming to you, apologizing to you, telling you that they're sorry. You know what? And I did a lot of that on coke. Because when I was doing coke like crazy, I was with acting buddies. It was always acting friends, performers. And so we would sit around while we were on coke. We would talk about the pain. I mean, it was like a therapy. We were like an acting group that was so personal with each other. We talked about, you know what I mean? And we would sit around for hours just talk about whatever pain, abuse, you know what I mean? And all that stuff. And so I know it sounds crazy, but doing all that time and all that, I would be working out in my head and even after that, doing exercise. Okay, because I know my parents, my dad, they're not going to say, oh, we're sorry for what we've done and none. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Not that it couldn't happen, but just how life works and parents have to realize and take on that responsibility. And my teacher would say, you know, a lot of parents and people have a lot of guilt and shame and they don't want to revisit that. And if they do, that's great. But most parents don't want to revisit that they did harm to their kids and that they could be responsible. I mean, so that's tough. That was one of the reasons he said, so it's some exercises. So I did that exercise. And when I first did it, it didn't work. And a couple of times, but every time I had time to myself or thought about it, I kept it. And then finally, I was able, in imagination, forgive my parents and the guy who raped me. And really forgive him. To where I could talk about it freely. I have no embarrassment. I have nothing. Like I have no problem telling them if it's going to move the story or it's going to help them. Like, yeah, look, I got through this. I can talk about it now. I can talk about it. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't make me feel less than. So when I came back into the rooms of narcotics, I knew what I fucking need to do. Because that's one thing I got ever since I was a teenager in therapy. God, I'm so impressed with you. You are so fucking, they didn't say, you are so self-aware. That's pretty impressive. I've never met a young man like you who is so self-aware. A teenager. And every time I'm in therapy, that's the first thing any therapist I've had throughout my life, and I'm 52, have always said, I am so impressed with you. God, I mean, I don't meet too many people like you who are so self-aware. That's one of the gifts the universe has given me. Self-awareness. It doesn't take long for me to sit and talk and figure out, okay, I know why this is connected here. And it doesn't, you know, and it also helps that the universe has been fucking with me the whole time. The universe has been my ride and die chick. Because doing all this stuff, I was reading. The universe was bringing me books into my conscious. Like Gary Sukha, Seed of Your Soul, The Power of Eckhart Tolle, The Power of One, Power of Now, his books, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I mean, I could think of so many self-help books that I read that I saw on Oprah, and they spoke. And Oprah had tons of books she would recommend, and every book that I would go, oh, I like that interests me. Did not realizing what it was. Before you know, when I got it and started, I said, oh, it's another self-help book. Every book that interests me that I got from Oprah's book club wound up being a self-help book. Every time I walked into a bookstore and be like, oh, I'll just pass that. I want to go into, and then I would be walking around and nothing would come on, and also I would see a book and it'd be a color or something, and I would pick the book up and read the back of it. It would be some kind of self-help book, and I would say to myself, oh my God, the universe wants me to have this. So I would purchase the book, come home and read it. And it was always, I didn't understand each book. I didn't understand the whole totality, but it was information that I got, and I would be like, oh, I can use this. This applies to me. And I would make an adjustment. I would really break because I was hungry, because I was suffering. So much fucking pain. I hated myself. I hated my blackness. I hated my gayness. I hated everything. I hated the way I looked. It was so much shit that I hated about, and I was suffering. I would cry at night. I was depressed. I didn't think anybody loved me. Nobody cared. I fucking hated everything about every soul, every cell in my body. I hate it. But I knew how to dress myself up. Always took care of myself. I was a dancer. My body always looked good. I always was, clean, hair done, shaved, whatever. Always looked well put together. Because I couldn't let anybody see how hurt and angry and pissed and how I felt